Hello, this is Dave, and welcome to Equity Story. I'm here with the Mr. Amazing Wolf, and just say this is general share advice and not personal advice. Oh, Wolfie. Uh, what a market. I just want to have a look at the general market, so I want to go to the Dow.
Please.
And I'm having a look at the Dow here. And you can see on that weekly how we sort of broke trend, and really this week just confirming that move down. And if you actually look at this, it does look like we're tracking lower. But I just want to put this in perspective for everybody. And Wolf, if you don't mind, we'll use these monthly charts. Yeah.
I
Um,
love monthly charts, Dave.
if you actually look at this, I mean, we're only trading. We've just had this massive move up while we've had the COVID pandemic. You could easily see us coming back down to 30 or even 25, and we were trading there just 2 years ago. So one could easily see. I know the market coming back, and certainly I would definitely say the Dow looks like it's at least going to come back to that sort of 30,000 level. If I look at the Nasdaq, it looks like we're at least back to sort of 11,500 type level. And let's have a look at our market. Our market is slightly different. The way Wolf has just been so supported really by the commodity plays. Um, but if we do see a little bit more weakness, possibly come back down to that 6,500 level. I'm just having a look at this on the, yeah, again, it's actually holding up really well, Wolf. But I wouldn't be surprised to see us track a little bit lower if the Dow goes lower, and so does the Nasdaq. But at the moment, we're holding above that 7,000, and again, that's because of these certain stocks that we keep talking about, the Australian commodity plays.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're going to have a look at some of those again today. So, as you can see, there's a little bit of weakness in some of the oil stocks, but arguably just an opportunity if you're not in them to get some. But I think nickel at one stage was up about 4 or 5%, Wolf, and looking very, 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 very good. And you can see gold again was up over 2,000 last night. It came back a little bit, but the gold plays are starting to tick along very, very, very nicely. So those commodity plays are looking extremely good. Um, a little shout out, FME. They had some, again, some decent drill results. I'd just like to see this one settle over 25 cents, Wolf, by the end of the week to say, right, we'll jump on board and we'll trend it. But certainly, and I believe they've got some of the Galaxy boys there now on the board. So, it looks like they've got, it looks like they're in the right product with the right people, Wolf, and they've got plenty of drill holes to come. So I'm looking really looking forward to see how this project develops. And certainly, if we can get over 25 cents by the end of the week, I would argue pretty trendable. Um, JLG, again, holding up very, very well. That chart looking pretty good, Wolf. And again, Wolf, you'd think with all this rain, I mean, they can't even cope with the work they had before the rain. Now with all the rain, I don't know how they're going to cope. I mean, exciting.
Yeah, look,
Oh my God! Thank God you talked. I felt like I was.
the thing is, you're letting it's just
I
blah,
felt
blah, 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 blah.
I felt I was interviewing one of those rock stars that doesn't talk, and the interviewer's going, and they just sit
Oh,
there.
no, because you were just on a lovely little run of your little own. So I thought I'd just leave you to it. And let's just see if he actually lets me in.
Okay. Well, you can jump in anytime. You
Oh,
normally do.
thanks, Dave. Okay, well, anyway, just one thing. Obviously, what you said just at the beginning was just so apt when you look at the last 2 years. So basically, the pandemic giveth, the war taketh away. we're back to square one. We could be back to square one very shortly.
Wolf, and a little bit worrying. Apparently, Poland are putting some fighter jets in the war, and Putin has said if you do that, you're a target too.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think from Russia, everyone's a target, really.
Yeah.
I don't want to obviously stoke any fires here, so I'd rather not than put any planes into thing. But look, I'm obviously not a politician, so God knows what they're going to do there. I just want Poland to stick away from it all. They're doing a great job with all the Ukrainian refugees that are coming into the country. I've been reading a lot of positive stuff. How all the help is happening for the refugees, which is fantastic. But antagonizing Russia is probably not the right way to go.
Well, that's surprising, Wolf. So you wouldn't get involved in the war and fight, no?
Well, no. The thing is, where does it stop? Poland gets involved, and NATO gets. It's just not. It's not going to be an It's probably going to end up with a World War III with nuclear weapons being used, which is goodbye Earth, pretty much.
Yeah, but there's no point feeding the crocodile so it eats you last, right? What do they say?
I don't know.
What did Churchill say? Something like that.
Did he? I've never heard of that one, Dave. That's the first one for me, so thank you. Crocodile one. But look, let's just go back to this JLG. And absolutely right. I mean, they're going to have so much work. They've already, like you said, they've got so much work already on. They've got more work to come, and it's just going to be never ending because climate change is just driving more and more of these event type issues that you can see it's problematic for the populace out there and for the environment. So it's just a place to be. Have your money in some way or shape or form.
Wolf, I'd like you to talk about SMN, and I'm not going to talk about it. You're going to talk about it. So as the interview goes, you tell us. I'm not.
Oh, look, I think, look, you said to me beforehand, you would be following this for a long time, right? You like back in the early days, and you can see it's done nothing for such a long time because they were waiting on this FAA approval for that new technology they've got, which can detect stress and cracks in the structure of planes and so on, which is really revolutionary when you think about it, because it's normally done manually, where you take part of the planes apart, you have to take it into the hangar and check it all out. And this one, you can do it apparently on the tarmac within half an hour. Amazing, Dave. So if this work, well, it obviously works. If they can commercialize this now, because now it's been given the go ahead and get some big contracts in place. Under 100 million market cap, I think, Dave, isn't it? 100 million, something like that.
I'll give you the.
It's. I think it's well worth having on your radar for sure, for a trade or even a long-term trade.
All right, system. Let's have a look what the market cap is at the moment, Wolf. It is 121 million.
That's not bad. It's not bad when you think, probably I'd say every airline will be using this. I can't imagine one not using it. When you can save your time, when you can save your money, it's just one of those things that you're going to move on to this. So for me, potentially could be much higher market cap here. It's just depending how they play. The problem is, I think they've got no cash, Dave. When I looked at the balance sheet, they've got zero cash. There's probably going to be a capital raising come along the line.
Well, I think we'll wait for that raising before we get in it. Yeah, Wolf, I'll tell you what, I don't like flying. I actually check the plane for cracks before I get on it. I'm looking out the window.
Do you go like a day beforehand then and go over the plane?
No, but I have a good look as I'm walking on, just make sure. And
your expert eye, of course. Yeah, no. I'm with you there, Dave. I always look at the window, make sure there's no cracks in the windows.
Wolf,
anyway.
I took off from New York to Canada once, and they left the door open.
Oh God.
Right.
Well, I'll tell you what, nothing's as bad as, unfortunately, my Natalie's, which she was in a plane crash. So,
was
and
she?
she's here and she's here to tell the story. So that is amazing. So yeah.
Which plane crash?
That was in Africa. The plane's wheels didn't open up, and they had to crash land, and the plane split in half.
Oh my God.
Right,
that's okay. Well, maybe you could tell us all that story one day.
Yeah, one day. But yeah, there you go. And people still fly after that. So I would probably never do it after that. But let's go on to the next story.
Yeah, I think that sort of thing does happen in Africa, right?
Well, I don't know.
Because they're old planes, aren't they? A lot of them.
Well, look, the beauty about it is really. You have to, commend the actual pilot. I think he did a remarkable job. That at least I think no one actually died in that particular crash.
All right, you hear it all on Equity Story, right? So Wolf, CMB. Tell us about
it. Okay, so came up with more drilling results. Probably not as good as previous stuff, but still coming up with lots of interesting holes. the market at the moment is just very difficult for me to really have any conviction whatsoever to trade these sort of stories. They'll probably jump and they'll probably come back with the sell-off. So I'd say, I don't know if there's a trade in there, Dave, but the results are okay, but I don't think I'll be trading this sort of stuff. I'll probably be trading the BHPs, the Woodsides of the world.
Yeah, definitely. CXL was on Einstein's. I had a little buy signal and starting to go through it, Wolf. What did you make?
Nice announcement. Nice announcement. That's why it's probably have that nice buy signal. There was insiders buying, and I think they've got, if I remember, they got some positive news coming out. Just
they got from memory, they got regulatory approval.
Right.
Yeah,
that's exactly right. So that was a big positive for them. So that's why it's looking up. But again, I think generally speaking, the revenues are way smaller than the actual market cap. So their multiples are huge. I can't see that going past 7.
Yeah. Okay. So if you're trading this, look for around that 7.
I'd say that 7 probably is a max for me anyway. Just my personal opinion.
All right. Well, lastly but not least, little TMS, jumped 57%. Now we had a look at these drill results, so we're always looking if it's tradable, and not bad, right? So they got 50 meters at 2.7. Got some nice sort of thicker zones in here. That's a really nice one, sort of 5 meters at 7.2, Wolf, and here 4.3. So that all looks good. Now, the only issue is with this, it's, as I termed it, it's got a nice little blob there in the middle.
Yeah, I love the mining technical terms that you use.
Yeah, well, I'm very trained in these sort of things.
Fair enough.
I can do my Wolverhampton accent. You might know what I'm doing. I'm very trained, like in this sort of thing. I know what I'm, very confident, Wolfie. It's got a little blob here, mate. So Wolf, it's got a little blob here.
Yes.
Unless there's a blob around here and here, maybe it's not mineable. So I wouldn't be chasing this at the moment, to be honest with you.
I agree with you. As you can see, there's a hole right underneath that, right? And that only came up with a small little intercept, right? There you go. So what's
it's a blob. Yeah, but what's it called if it's not a blob? It's called an intersection, is it?
Well, no. I'm talking about intersection of the actual mineralization, right? That's what the intersection refers to. But like you said, I think they caught it nicely where it thickened up, the mineralization thickened up. So, and then I suppose when you look at the next, obviously, like I said, the drill hole below that, it thinned off again. So maybe it is just a small little spot of this nice, great, high grade copper. But I think maybe they need to drill a bit more. And I love I love the fact what they did with just below that, those drill holes that ended, they like saying, oh, it could be open up the top. So if you go, that's right there. You're right. It was like, you can draw that and go, oh yeah, I'm sure there's something underneath because we just stopped our holes just there. So this is all this is just all someone going, I think maybe there's something there. I'll just draw it in.
All right. Well, it does look a little bit better rather than say we don't know. They could have said, instead of saying open, they could have had got no idea, mate.
Well, exactly. I love it because there was actually no intercepts to actually say that, right? They're just presuming.
All right.
Anyway, look, not bad. I don't think it's spectacular. I think it's pretty good because I know that they like to market themselves quite nicely, all these little companies. Again, would I trade it? Probably not. It's probably going to come back a bit. And yeah, for me, again, I reiterated myself, sticking to the big boys, your big nickel plays, your big copper, big iron plays, like S2s and so on. I don't think I'll be playing with the small stuff at the moment. It's just too difficult.
Yeah, Wolf, and that Nick was up 4 or 5%, a bit of profit taking, but nickel up again. High, it's matched the 2008 highs and up another 7% again last night. Incredible stuff.
Exactly.
And you can see gold looking pretty good, IPL looking good again. Obviously, all these stocks being obviously aided by this horrible war we've got at the moment.
Elders is going well for us as well. That's been a recent addition, so I'm happy with that. I'm just thinking that it is time for it to move up to $13 with all what's going on around the world. So food security is now the key, I'd say. Yeah, this is looking pretty good.
All right, Wolf. On that note, it's the same story, unfortunately.
Yes.
And look forward to doing live tonight at 7 o'clock.
Yeah, and Dave, at the moment, I don't think there's any insight, for the war. So that's the troublesome thing for the markets, and for the global growth out there, which is, of course, like you said.
Well, you've hit a very important point there. It's like the markets could have, although it's horrible to say, would have preferred a quick win either side, right?
Yep.
And got on with it. The fact that it's a prolonged, looks like it's got, and Ukrainians, I think they got a city back again last night, which is pretty good from their point of view. So it's definitely looking us, that this is going to be a drawn out conflict.
Yeah, absolutely, and which is obviously great for the Ukrainians because they want to protect their place, which is completely understandable. And yeah, I'm hoping that Ukraine wins, but it's just really bad for the markets, really bad for global economies and so on. So we could have a really tough time ahead of us, Dave. So we've got to be prepared for that.
All right. On that note, thank you very much, Wolfie, and look forward to live tonight. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Cheers, guys. Bye.